Right. So, like I was about to say, you got the programs made. That's the part of the reason why y'all be speaking on things that y'all have no clue of. It's the public housing program is totally different from Section 8. It's a different program. Like, they even have here in Georgia, they call it they based on income. So if you make a low income but you don't have a Section 8 voucher, and they don't even have project housing here anymore. You could rent from a landlord who's offering rent based on income. Those houses, yeah, those properties be kind of dilapidated, yes. But that's a different program, and that's the problem in which y'all speak of. Y'all don't know exactly what y'all speaking of, and you're taking one scenario and you're mixing it with another, and it's not the same.
So how do you know what we know? That's what you don't know what we know.
I'm telling you, when you said project apartments, you told the whole story that you don't know.
Yeah,
we're talking about Section 8. Right. It's a different. Those are two different programs. You can speak for one, and a lot of those apartments that they are owned by they're not public housing. Those are a lot of those. I know it here in Georgia. A lot of that shit is owned by private companies that rent to low income people, and they have no restrictions at all.
Okay.
They don't have to hold up to the standards of a person that's renting their house out or a building out for Section 8. It's a different scenario.
Full disclosure, my mother. Just real quick, my mother, she rents out properties, and in one of her townhomes, she takes Section 8 vouchers. It's a beautiful townhome. So it's just simply not true that, like, you have, like, it's actually a very gross stereotype that I think is used to perpetuate this idea that people shouldn't be on public assistance, that, folks who are using Section 8 vouchers are ended up in dilapidated homes. It's just simply not true.
They could shop around.
Well, I can say what I've seen. You guys can't take my.
Well, then they shopped around. They shopped around for that home. That's what they looked for.
But what I'm saying is, to say just because in your city the Section 8 houses are not that way does not mean other cities they're not. You have not been to every Section 8 house in every state, so you can't say that.
Yeah, but we're grabbing what the majority is, though. We're grabbing what the majority of the room is saying, because we can't just go by all these anecdotes. At some point, you're talking about how to fix the system, right? That's the basis of this conversation. We can't have a conversation fixing the system just going by your solo anecdotal experience.
So, I'm going to say this vote.
Confusion.
That's what takes up room.
There's a confusion. As Brooklyn was saying, Section 8 housing is not a thing. There is public housing, and one of the ways people move out of public housing is using Section 8 to go on a private market, right, from a landlord that accepts, well, in some states they have to accept, right, Section 8 vouchers on the private market. Those Section 8 housing is not a thing. It's not administered by the government. It might be dilapidated as any house could be on a private market and would command a certain price for it, right? But it's a private market, like a regular rent, right? Except, I guess, some percentage, I think 70, it depends, right? Somebody more information can talk about it, is covered by the voucher. That's all, right? If people dislike public housing, Section 8 is one of the ways people move out from it, from public housing.
And not to mention that Section 8 has a program attached to it that allows those people who live in Section 8, that allows the people in Section 8 to purchase a home with a stipend from the government. Under restrictions, of course, but they allow these people to take their voucher and purchase a home. And you want that to go away is ridiculous to me. That shit is stupid.
I'm gonna be honest with you. The last part you just said, Do these people know they can buy a house?
Some people don't, but the people that's on that be having their ear to the street, or if they have like my aunt, like I told you, she worked for the Section 8 in College Park. She, like, when you have one of those kind of counselors, the people that walk you through and do all your paperwork. Some people explain that to you, some of them don't. My aunt is one of them that do. But one of my friends in New York,
It's on any website, Brooklyn.
and it's on all the websites.
It's on all websites.
But my friend in New York, she got it. That's how she got a house in New York City, in Queens, with a Section 8 voucher that she transferred over to purchase a home.
Nice.
So
I have family members that a few of them that was like I think Section 8. I'm assuming because it was definitely in the hood. I was like, I never heard them ever talk about that.
Section 8 is not only in the hood.
I know. I'm
Public housing. Yes, public housing is usually in the hood. Section 8, you can be in the uppity neighborhood. Great, amazing school districts.
they got fucking Section 8.
If you want to find something, if you have decent credit, you can go into a good neighborhood with Section 8, guys.
They have a Section 8 program in every county, I think. I believe it's in every county. They have some kind of program in every county across America. And you would be surprised that a lot of some of the people that are renting the home in your neighborhood, they're on Section 8. And you wouldn't even know
And
it.
you wouldn't even know.
Yeah, you wouldn't even know it.
I'm gonna be honest when it comes to like I don't know what this shit called, public housing or government assistance. I'm hella ignorant to it, so I didn't mean to say anything stupid like that.
No, it's simple. Public housing is projects. Those projects, all you can do is move from project to project. That's all you can do. You cannot go into any homes, any apartments. You are stuck to those buildings. That is public housing. You are stuck to those three. I know you guys are not in, for the ones that are not in New York, you are stuck into these little complex, whether they're 4 floors, 3 floors, whatever the case is. Section 8, you can go to Puerto Rico with Section 8. You can go to all states with Section 8. And once again, you can buy a home. Okay, but that also has to do with a lot of these people have a lot of evictions under their belt. They don't have the best credit, so they are not going to get what the ones that do have good credit or don't have any evictions. That's what it is.
Literally,
Please, Brooklyn.
I was gonna say there are literally like landlords that take advantage of people with bad credit. So they have so many different like ways of getting these people in these dilapidated properties, and they have nothing to do with Section 8 because a lot of those people don't have Section 8. Some people got kicked off the voucher because that happens. Like, everybody don't keep their shit the whole, 30 years or whatever we wanted to say. Right. Some people get kicked off the program. They have really, like, it's really strict. So if you have a son or a daughter that lives with you and that person gets in trouble with the law, you can get kicked out.
If he's a felon, he gotta go.
Like, easy. It's like, right, it's so they are super strict when it comes to because they know that it's highly, like, people need it. So if you're not following the rules, they're gonna kick you fucking off the program and get somebody else in. That'll be somebody else's voucher.
And landlords sometimes will try to find violations so that they can so that the tenant can get kicked off the Section 8, because they know that once the tenant's kicked off the Section 8 program, housing voucher program, they're unlikely to be able to afford the rent, and so it effectively becomes a form of an eviction. And then just quickly pivoting to public housing, it's also not the case that, and I know people know this, like, there's public housing that we typically think of, but there's also public housing where it's actually in pretty good areas, and the public housing is actually pretty good. But because you have a lot of wealthy areas that, do rezoning bullshit, they try to make sure that public housing doesn't exist in their suburbs so that people can avail themselves to nicer school districts, nicer libraries, and so on.
And furthermore, good morning, everybody. Ocha, good morning. Hope you're having an ultra amazing day in existence. But Saeed Shaba. Furthermore, here in LA, and pretty much mostly in all states, you have to call if you see a new property being built, like a skyrise, call the leasing, call the management company and ask them, hey, do you happen to have a list of HUD units that are set aside that are drastically reduced all the way down? So there's low income housing units, and then there's affordable housing units and HUD units. So there's 3 different programs, probably more, depending if someone totally.
I was about to speak on what you just said. They call it in Houston. They call it essential. I'm saying it right. Essential housing. I didn't know what I'll be honest. I didn't know what the fuck that was. I was looking for an apartment before I moved out here.
Broad life appears to be insufficient. A strong life appears.
Central housing.
I thought it was me.
Like, oh, that original price for that apartment is $1,800, but we rented it out for $1,300. It was a luxury apartment.
Yeah, like New York, you can live on Fifth Avenue for the low. So, for the low compared to everybody else is living on Fifth Avenue. So, yeah, and not to mention, like I was saying before, a lot of the properties that you see, especially the ones that's dilapidated, especially apartment buildings, because it's not too often that you see, like, unless it's like a highly populated area where, they have a lot of different apartments and people basically live on top of each other, like in New York, where people will have Section 8 in apartments. When you go to the outskirts, you go to the country, you go to, less populated areas, they living in houses. They not living in apartment buildings with Section 8. So when you see somebody that live in an apartment building and the apartment building is dilapidated, I implore you to ask if that's a public housing or if that's like, who's it owned by, basically. If it's owned by a private investor, or if it's owned by the city. Because you'll be surprised. A lot of these apartments are owned by by a private investor.
And I'm not the Matrix now, I think. But like one of the things you just said was like, is that you have to be paid under $50,000 for to approve for that. I think in Houston it's like that because every apartment complex. When I was researching, it's like, oh, we got this complex if you get paid under $50,000. I'm like, I don't know I will approve for that, but I gotta see what's up, whatever, because it's like a lot of times basically what she had told me was that some apartment complexes or whatever, they gotta have 10% or 20% affordable apartments or units and different things like that for people and stuff like that.
Yeah, they have like programs like the Second Chance program. Second Chance is like a private investor that they know that people, they got bad credit, they probably got evicted from their last apartment, they let them, live in their apartment. And it might be in the ghetto. It might be bullets flying all around them. But it's a chance for them to, have a roof over their head, and they take advantage of that. They don't clean. They don't clean the property. They don't renovate anything. Everything is old. That type of shit happens too, and that has nothing to do with Section 8 or public housing for that matter.
Best case scenario.
Which is New York. I said Houston. They're talking about New York. I think right now people are just talking about in their states or their cities and stuff like that.
Well, I'm actually talking about, when I say
Brooklyn's talking on Georgia and New York.
We're talking about Georgia and New York. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm referring to New York and Texas because you're only going to speak on what you know, right? We're not just going to be speaking on every state. If you want to find out about your state, Google it and put up the website, and then you get information. I'm not going to give you the whole 50 states.
Hey, not the whole 50 states. But, no.
And she couldn't because each state has its own measures and regulations, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Just look at the website. We're going to speak from where we lived, what we're familiar with.
Yeah, I mean, but I think everybody has the same thing. What we're saying is like that in LA, New York, and different places like that. It just says, I think we don't know that. Well, I didn't know that for sure. I met people that lived in Beverly Hills in LA that was like talking about, yeah, I live in a special unit. I said, the fuck is a special unit? So my rent's like $800 a month. I'm like, wait a minute, the rent's $2,500. But some of those apartments like that have like a weight list like right here. Rent control.
Please believe I'm on somebody's Section 8 voucher list somewhere. Because when I was in college, anytime a program opened up, I was goddamn signing up. Because I swore that I wanted me some Section 8 until I realized how strict it was. And I was like, I can't do that because they're going to be all in my business. But yeah, like what? And it affords people that only make a certain amount of money. Like you say like me personally, both my parents was gone by the time I was 21, and I'm basically out on my own. I got family or whatever, but I want to be able to take care of myself. So imagine a person like me that don't really have that much family like that, or really don't have nowhere to, they can't go to their parents' house basically. They need these type of programs, whether it's Section 8 or whether it's some kind of affordable housing. Like the affordable housing programs here in Georgia is perfect for a young adult. It's perfect for a struggling single mother, or a guy, a man that he basically working, and he making ends meet, paycheck to paycheck, but he can't afford to pay $2,500 in rent because, contrary to popular belief, rent is high as hell here in Georgia. As hell, okay. So yeah, I think all of them programs is necessary, and everybody need to be able to get on it.
Hey, what you just said about Georgia? Hey, 2020, 21, when I was out there visiting, well, it wasn't the business, I was looking because of COVID. But a regular house is like $1,200-$1,300. That same house is $2,500, and you want an apartment in the hood, it's like $1,000 or $1,200. Then for people that's trying to come there and come visit, or people that can't really afford it, they were rent a room for another. It's like $800 to $1,000. So it's like, yeah, Georgia's out of it. They lost their goddamn mind.
Yeah, the people renting rooms. Oh my God, I don't. And then it's so many people that need. When I tell you that since 2020 to 2025, right now, I've seen the growth of the tent cities under the expressways in Atlanta. I've seen it, and everywhere you go, it's homeless people just all over in every county. I be trying to figure out. I was in Griffin like a few weeks ago. I'm saying to myself, how the fuck they get to Griffin? With no car. You all the way, you an hour away from the city. Like, it's homeless people everywhere in every county, all over the place. And they going from being able to, they staying at extended stays until they run out of money. Them extended stays are that's $1,000 a month or more. That shit is crazy, and the people that own these hotels, the people that own these different properties, that live in all of these different countries. That's why I say immigration wasn't the problem with the poor people. It's the rich people that was the fucking problem. Like I could point out a gang of people that's from Turkey, because I worked for a company, and it was a manufacturing company, and the owner and everybody in the executive office were from Turkey. Okay, a manufacturing company in Georgia, and it's several of them. Okay, I was worried about. They were talking about the Mexicans coming across the border. The problem is the people coming from Europe and Asia.
No, what
Those
you
are
just said.
immigrants. That's the issue.
What you just said. The one thing about places like Georgia, or anywhere, these people from New York and in LA, they selling homes $0.5 to $1 million, or even 900,000. We went to the South buying up all the homes. Even other companies that had apartment complexes, and they own up, different apartment complexes and stuff like that, moved to Georgia and different things like that, and buying up things and put new regulations. That's the reason why some of the clubs in Buckhead is not there no more, because they trying to add a lot of rules to a lot of things right now. But and that's why you're seeing Bankhead starting to be gentrified and being pushed out because of that too.
There's $800,000 properties on Bankhead with crackheads across the street.
I said there. Trust me, I worry about trust.
I lived on Bankhead too.
But this is the thing. What you just said. The reason why a lot of people, remember I said it earlier. I don't know if you was in the room. Our own people are selling us out, meaning as in, a lot of people are not going to sell their homes to a white person knocking at the door half the time. It's just my opinion. It's not a fact. It's just an opinion. I remember working on the movie, and so I came knocking on the door and say, "Hey, do you want to sell your home?" I'm like, "Well, I'm just renting this place to shoot a movie right now. It's not my home." Well, can I get the owner? We trying to buy the home from them, and I looked at the price of the home. The home was $200,000, but what I heard was these people are buying these people homes for $300,000, $400,000, like double the price of how much the value is, and then going around doing what you just said, they selling a home for 2 times higher or 3 times higher than what they bought it for. And I realized that people in Georgia, the average person is not getting paid. That they not getting paid more than $4,000 or $5,000 a month. So how can the fuck can they afford those homes?
What people supposed to do?